Really windy. Gonna close this door up here real quick. Decided rather than skipping a Friday, I've been doing a lot of little teeny projects. Why not show the teeny projects anyway? Boy, my mind's gone blank here. So why not? I'll just be showing some small stuff here for what it's worth. This video, I also wanted to say it'd be nice because then I'll dedicate the video to one item rather than 2 or 3. So if somebody's looking for a particular how-to or whatever, they can easily find it. It's not buried in with another object or item. So this video, I'm just going to share a Banggood find. A little cute trick that I learned from another machinist. And last but not least, what am I going to show? No machining, but something you'll find very interesting. So, see you next Friday. This was very interesting to open up. Banggood. Took over a month to get it. $1.67. It's advertised as diamond. The picture on the website's completely different. I looked at this under a magnifying glass. I'm not sure where the diamond stuff is, but they're very sharp. And I did run it. You can see a little bit of aluminum here. I tried it on some aluminum, but that's what they look like. I guess I can't complain for $1.67. They come with a nice handle, so you get, this one's flat? Yeah. It sure seems, optical illusion, seems like it's domed that way. So you get a flat, you get a round, and yeah, pretty darn sharp feeling. And this one is domed on this side. So half round is what you call it, I guess. So it'd be interesting. I'll throw it in the drawer and see what it does versus my other regular jeweler's files. So I'm on Craigslist, and this guy has got a whole bunch of tools that he's selling. And I phone him up, talking to him for a bit. Turns out, yeah, he's a machinist. He's downsizing some. We kind of hit it off. We talked for about a half hour. But I don't know how the subject of knurling came up. But back when I was learning how to do it, I watched probably every video there was on YouTube. And yeah, it makes sense. It comes down to math. If you want the knurls to be perfect, you have to have the diameter of the knurling wheel be related to the diameter of the material. And I posted all the math and sizes on the website for people. So this guy's going, "You're cheating." And I go, "What do you mean?" And he says, "You don't have to care about the diameter." Well, first of all, too, what always bothered me is, okay, I've got this diameter so that when the wheel goes around, when it comes back to the first cut, it lands right in the first cut again. But that's the outside. You're going in deeper, so you should be making it the diameter of the deep cut, but whatever. It didn't make sense. Makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. What this guy says you have to do, and it was interesting, this was a random size, so this should not have worked. Put it in the machine, you don't turn the machine on, and you bring the knurling scissor knurl over it, and you clamp it down, and then using the compound, you keep going back and forth, clamping it down further and further until when the compound's off, you can see you're at the depth that you want to make. Bring the scissor knurl back on center, then turn the machine on. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is like a perfect knurl. It just blew me away that this works. It even mushroomed this out here. So that was an interesting thing thing to learn or whatever. It doesn't matter what the diameter is. If you use this technique, you'll get a good knurl. Now, I've only done it once. Let's see over time here when I have to do a knurl again, if it's going to work again. Be aware though, on a mini lathe, it puts a lot of force on the compound to push it in like that. Pick this chuck up off of Amazon. I know, a cheap Chinese chuck. Pretty sure it was Amazon. It was like just $10. Made my own little arbor. Just now did research too. What's the difference between an arbor and a mandrel? They're the same thing, at least as far as I could tell in my research. But the chuck originally came with one of these quick disconnects. I guess it was meant for a drill that doesn't have a chuck. So, lo and behold, 5/16, no, what is it? Yeah, 5/16 24. I've got the die, and I quickly, out of some scrap that was already in the drawer, made an arbor for it. Guys, worked good. I have used this thing over and over again, and it's because it's really quick. Stick it in a 1/2-inch ER32 collet, holds all the small drill bits. I mean, it goes up pretty big too. So I can easily hold a 1/4 inch, up to a 1/4 inch bit, but the thing that got me was quite often you put a bit in there and I can see it wobbling around. So, kind of irritating. I wrote it off as just, maybe it's just the size of the bit. Because sometimes I put a bit in there, I didn't pay attention to the sizing, but sometimes I put a bit in there and it's perfect. Sometimes, like I said, it's wobbling. So since I use this so much, I started looking on eBay and Amazon and every place for a precision chuck. And the one thing I noticed was precision chucks, let me get something to point, always have something here in between the jaws to keep them going straight, is what I started thinking. So I just, as an experiment, I put this guy in the mill, and I just clamped on a bit and repeated it until it was wobbling. And then what I discovered is if you take this, just touch the bit, and then you back it up a little and in and out and in and out, and sort of reseat these jaws, all of a sudden that bit does not wobble. So it has to do, I think, with the jaws going sideways or not perfectly straight, and that's why they have that in the precision jaws. But I put this guy, I just wanted to see what the runout was, put him in the Spindex with a 5C, 1/2-inch 5C, and put the indicator here, and it's like 8 thousandths run out. Whoa. All right, so piece of junk here. Let me try to make something better. So my first attempt, I don't have it here, I threw it away. Piece of 1/2-inch in the collet. Machine this down to 5/16, machine this so it's all one piece, perfectly straight, and run a threading die on it. And when I was done, I put the threading die back on it, and you turn the lathe on, and the die's wobbling. So the particular holder that I made has a problem where the die can, if it's too big, too much force, the die can cock on it. So I can't do that. So I figured, all right, let me break out all the change gears, and for the first time, I'm going to thread on the lathe. And I had made the cutting tool a long time ago. Still sharper than all get out. I just used it, but wow. So set it to high 666 thousandths, boom, put it in the lathe, go at it. Look up the change gears, put them in there, and did the scratch pass, check it with the gauge, looked like it was perfect, start going at it. I'm getting pretty close down there, and it just something's wrong.
So I rechecked it with the thread gauge and it's not the right. So I got the change gears wrong. So there's my second attempt to scrap. And so I figured out what I did wrong with the gears, made a scratch pass up here, because this was that finish when it was sticking out, that I'm going to turn down anyway. But actually, didn't have to cut it off here. I could have cut it back here, and then this would be turned down on the way. So did the scratch pass and checked it, and then went a little bit deeper and a little deeper and checked it. It's like, okay, I got the gears right. Now, let me make the part. So, machine this whole thing here. So now I'm just a fraction, a thousandth or two under a half inch, which is fine. Turn this guy down, do the relief, and start at it. Boy, is this a pain. I didn't do any of the stuff where people are angling it in and that and stuff. I just went back and forth. One big pain was I cannot trust that little dial that you're supposed to wait until it hits the same spot and then engage. I don't know what was wrong. I'm going to have to investigate. I wanted to get this done. So I just let that go. I would never disengage it. So you make your pass, back it up, put the lathe in reverse, go back in. So that was the first real pain. Second one was, it seemed like if I started taking 5/1000th cut, well, I didn't have a live center on this, but if I started making 5/1000th cuts, that was just too much for this. For some reason, the threads were really rough. It was terrible looking. So I was making 2/1000ths, and I know my compound's solid, but boy, you know, you go in 1 thou and you cut, and you go and do it again, and it's taking a lot more material off. So something's moving. So I'd have to go in 2/1000th and then do a 1/2 thou a few times, and then a couple of thou and a 1/2 thou a few times. But I finally got it. The threads are perfect. They're nice and smooth. I haven't touched this at all. And it's nice and tight and works. And there should be, since it's all machined as one, there should be zero, zippo, whatever, wobble on it. So while it was still in the lathe and I didn't take it out yet, so it should still be perfect, I put this guy on it and I tried a couple of different drill bits, and they looked like they were wobbling on the outside, but with the magnifying glass looking at the very tip, the point of the drill bit didn't look like it was moving much at all. So I'm figuring, oh, what the heck, because I use this so much, and I've never had a precision chuck, I just ordered off of eBay a $235 precision chuck that I'm pretty sure is about this size. So let's see when it comes in. I'm going to have to make an arbor for it. I can't find one, so I'll be doing this all over again. But so I just wanted to point it out, that little trick about backing up and retightening to center the jaws works very well.